Good morning to you all, and thank you for joining our webinar series this week, featuring pre and post in Europe. Today we will cover pre and post of the Adriatic cruises in Croatia, an amazing country, amazing destination, of course. And on Thursday, we will have the second webinar covering pre and post in Europe, many other destinations such as Italy, Spain, and out of river cruises, an amazing webinar. As you know, pre and post is a very popular, I would say, and demanding product. We had, and we are still having a lot of requests for pre and post and in excursions by private car. My name is Zadar Split, and I'm the VP Global Sales and the Middle East specialist with iWorld of Travel. As you can hear from my accent, I was born and I was raised in Israel. I've worked as a guide in Israel for many years. And it's a really pleasure to present to you the webinar or to participate in the webinar today. With us today is Sally Black. Sally is the travel advisor, ambassadors. As you could hear from our CEO, Michael Gelberg, with the video we featured, we put a lot of importance for our partnership with the travel advisors. This is one of the most important, I would say, item in our partnership, with our partnership. So we decided to have Sally Black. Sally is a travel advisor, has an incredible travel agency, and she's consulting with us to how to see our product through the eyes of the travel agents or the travel advisors. With us also Anita Skorik. As you know, we have opened our own office, our own operating office, where we have a full quality control to our product in Croatia. We have a wonderful team in Croatia covering Europe, of course, and Anita is one of our leaders or destination specialist in Europe. With us also today, Daniel or Dan Serratillo. Daniel is our BDM, located in New York, covering the east part of United States, and has an incredible, I would say, experience, over 30 years experience with the industry, including our specialists to Iceland and few other destinations. Last but not least is our wonderful Alida Peljevic. Alida is our VP Product Development and our Europe specialist. And Alida will be the presenter today, the main presenter of our webinar today. So Alida, please take it away from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Zehava. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I do hope, and please all keep your fingers crossed for my Wi-Fi, because I have been having some technical issues in the past 24 hours. But I believe that, you know, the gods of webinars will be with us, and that will pull through this without me going offline suddenly. So thank you so much for the introduction, Zehava. Thank you for our team here to support today's webinar. And thank you all of you to joining today to learn about this additional possibility. We decided to do this webinar mostly for you guys because Croatia cruises have been really, really popular with us. I see some of you here that have chartered ships from us. I see some names here that have requested for prices for charters and cabins. So this webinar in particular is for you guys to gain the awareness of how much more you can do with the cruises, right? This is a webinar dedicated to the land options land option ideas. I want to really stress out that whatever you will see today is just an idea, and of course it can be done, but we can also combine different things from what you will see today. We can add different destinations and places to explore. So take this webinar as an idea of how you can make more money upselling to the people that have already booked the cruise or are looking into booking a cruise. And I would also like to thank our colleague Shane, who will be helping me and controlling the presentation. We can go to the first slide of this presentation today. Shane, thank you. So just to give you an idea of what we are talking about here, our 4 ships that we have in our fleet for 2022. Just a little teeny tiny bit information for you that we are working on getting even some more beautiful ships for 2023. And I will also use the opportunity to tell you that 2023 prices are available if you would look into chartering a ship for you and your clients in 2023. So as you already know, 4 ships: the Adriatic King, the Adriatic Queen, the beautiful Bella, and the Lastavica. And we can move on the second, on the next slide, please, where you will see just an overview of the different routes that we perform in Croatia. And these are basically the ports where the cruises either start or end. That is Split, Dubrovnik, Zadar, and Rijeka, all coastal towns in Croatia from where the cruises start, and we will use these ports as either starting or ending points of the pre and the post programs that we want to tell you about. So here is just an overview of all the different destinations, and for you to get an idea of where Croatia is positioned geographically within Europe. And it is very convenient because it is combinable with so many different destinations. Before I jump into the all different itineraries, I do want to tell you also that we will be doing this same concept of a webinar on Thursday that Zehava has already mentioned, but inspired by this, we realized, and you know that we already have an office in Croatia and that we have a team there, and we handle the whole Europe through that office. And we are able to offer you so much more, even for the cruises that are not with us, right? If you sell the Mediterranean cruises or any river cruises, it is always an opportunity for you guys. If you have a client that already paid for the cruise, if they want to do a day, 2, 3 days before or after, it's an additional opportunity for you to make more money and for them to have such a much better and larger, more in-depth experience. And from this, let's just go dive into our first suggested itinerary. Please, Shane, the next slide. So these are the first the first series of programs that I will suggest are the pre-cruise programs ideas that happen before the cruise. And this specific first group of them will start from the city of Rijeka, which is in the northern coast of Croatia. We can go to the next slide. So this is an itinerary that I personally really love, because I think that a combination of these 3 countries, Italy, Slovenia, and Croatia, it's a wonderful combination. This could just as well be a standalone program. It is really rich and really beautiful. So you can see here that you would fly your clients into Milano. We will do a little bit of the lakes region, the beautiful Lake Como, and then in Sirmione for the beautiful Lake Garda, and then visit Verona and Padova on the way to Venice. Of course, Venice is always a good idea, right? And then from there, we move into Slovenia. We move into Slovenia to visit the beautiful Postojna cave. It's a very special and unique place. And then from there, we proceed to the region of Istria in Croatia. If you can see here on the map, the town of Rovinj is just one of the many towns that are really, really amazing. Istria is a foodie region in Croatia, full of history, beautiful nature. It's really special and often forgotten by American travelers. And then from the port of Rijeka, the clients will join a week-long cruise that will take them on a journey throughout all the islands and the beautiful coastal towns of Croatia, ending in Dubrovnik, right? This is a program that would take 2 weeks altogether with the pre and the cruise, but it's really, really something authentic and really special, very rich. Let's move to the next, please. This is a shorter version of Italy, Slovenia, and Croatia, right? This is if your clients don't have that much time. This is doable in 3 or maybe 4 nights at a slower pace, but it's doable in 3 nights. 1 night in Venice, 1 night in Slovenia, and then 1 night in the region of Istria in Rovinj, as we are suggested here, but we could also do it in any of the other small towns, such as Pula with the famous Roman amphitheater, or Poreč, or any of those cute little towns that are very, very, very authentic. And then from there, we proceed to Rijeka, where they board the cruise again, a week-long cruise that goes throughout the whole islands of Croatia and ends in Dubrovnik. And this one is also very nice, and it is also convenient for the flights because it's easy to find flights into Venice and then out of Dubrovnik. So it's a very good combination. We can go to the next one. Thank you. The next one is a different version of combining 3 different countries. This one starts from Vienna, also a very good hub to fly your clients into from the United States. Of course, we would visit Graz along the way and then go into Slovenia to visit Ljubljana and the Lake Bled, which are really, really beautiful. From there, we would proceed to Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. I often like to say that Croatia really has 2 different faces. I like to call the seaside and the islands the blue face of Croatia, and then you have the continental parts that include also the capital city of Zagreb. I like to call them the green face of Croatia. So this is a really great itinerary, because spending a few days in the continental parts of Austria and Slovenia and Zagreb, and then going into the Plitvice Lakes National Park, it's a huge contrast, right, from what they will see on the cruise. From Plitvice Lakes National Park, and I'm sure that many of you have already heard my presentations, this is a very, very special place. And if you go to Croatia, you just cannot miss that. It is 16 lakes connected with waterfalls, extremely unique, extremely beautiful, protected by UNESCO. It is a UNESCO World Natural Site, and you guys know that UNESCO doesn't really protect any site. This is very, very special and beautiful. I always highly recommend to spending a night there. And then from there, we proceed to Rijeka, and once more, we do the long itinerary throughout, sailing throughout all the beautiful islands and ending in Dubrovnik, the pearl of the Adriatic. And that is also a very, very special itinerary, especially if you have clients that have already done the north of Italy and similar. This is a great alternative. We can go to the next one. Thank you. So this is also a shorter one, and it's also connected to the long cruise, which I think it's a great combination just to fly into Slovenia, Ljubljana, the capital city of Slovenia, spending 2, maybe 3 days in Ljubljana, visiting Bled and many other places that are available. Slovenia is a very special place, guys. You have to go. Sooner or later, you have to go. It is very easy to combine with Croatia, but it's totally different than Croatia. So it's really 2 different worlds, but amazing. Beautiful nature, amazing cuisine, rivers, lakes, heritage, you name it, Slovenia has it. Plus, it's one of the most sustainable tourism-oriented countries in the world and in Europe for sure. So there you go. Also one of the reasons why you could recommend it to your clients. It is also great for solo travelers because it's very, very safe. And then from there, we do the same thing. And as in the previous itinerary, we go into Zagreb, the Plitvice Lakes, and we end in Rijeka, and then again, long cruise that ends in Dubrovnik. And we can do the next one now. Thank you, Shane. This is an even shorter version. It is very, let's say, it is very good. It's very easy in terms of the flights, right? You guys know that we have a direct flight from Newark into Dubrovnik, and that is on United. And United is a part of, airlines group called Star Alliance, which is also Lufthansa and Croatia Airlines. They're all one same group that work together and share coaches and all of that. So you can easily book on United and you can fly them direct to Dubrovnik and then use the Croatia Airlines. There is 3 or 4, maybe even more during the summer months, flights that go from Dubrovnik to Zagreb, right? But also other cities. Zagreb is very well connected. You could fly through London, through any of the German hubs, such as Frankfurt and Munich. It's very, very easy. And then get into Zagreb for 1 or 2 overnights, and then Plitvice Lakes National Park, Rijeka, and then long cruise all the way to Dubrovnik. And we can go to the next. All right, so these are the cruises now that start from Zadar and Split. Now you will see some similarities. We can start with the first one. Similar to what we are doing with Rijeka on certain itineraries, it is doable. On the one from Italy, it would be a little bit too long. Of course, it's not too long if they have more time, right? But to do it in 7 days, it would be a little bit too rushed. So this is what we are suggesting for those cruises that start from Zadar and Split. Very similar to the one that we had, starting in Vienna, flying your clients into Vienna, doing a little bit of Austria, stopping in a few places such as the city of Graz, and then going into Slovenia, visiting Ljubljana and the Lake Bled, and then Zagreb, Plitvice Lakes. And then you can see here that we included both ports because really the transfer between the Plitvice Lakes to Zadar and the transfer from Plitvice Lakes to Split is approximately the same. It's maybe 45 minutes longer to get to Split than to get to Zadar. And this is a very interesting itinerary. And then either one of the 2 ports, they will embark the cruise that will take them all the way down to Split. And we also have our AST 100 route that starts in Split and also ends in Split, right? And this is also appropriate for this route as well. We can go to the next one now. Thank you. All right, so shorter version of the similar itinerary, leaving out Austria, flying into Slovenia, doing a few days in Ljubljana and Bled, and then continuing to Zagreb, the Plitvice Lakes, and then, of course, ending in Zadar or Split, where they start the cruise all the way down to Dubrovnik. And of course, we can always adjust the length, right? We can do this in a faster pace. We could do this on a slower pace as well. This is why we say here in the presentation that it can be done in 2 to 5 nights. We can go to the next. All right, now we move to Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik is a very, very popular for itself. But of course, now we are on the southernmost end of Croatia, right? And this opens a whole new story of possibilities to offer to your clients. You guys know that I'm Croatian, right? And I have been in this business for over 20 years. For the past 6, I have been working with the US market, and I have been focused on Croatia and the neighboring countries for many years. If I could tell you how many times I've gotten the question, can we combine Greece and Croatia? It is one of the most frequently asked questions in my personal experience promoting and selling Croatia as a destination. So here, what I suggested, it's a program that is doable in 7 days. I would definitely recommend to stretch it to at least 9 or 10, just to make it a little bit more slow paced. Imagine they would fly into Athens. They would have a day or two in Athens. Then they would go and do all the sites, and you know them, Delphi, Epidaurus, and all of those famous sites in Greece. Of course, they would visit the Meteore, the monasteries in the sky. And then from there, they would pass into North Macedonia to visit the Lake Ohrid. Guys, I cannot tell you how wonderful this place is. So I have mentioned that the Plitvice Lakes National Park in Croatia is part of UNESCO natural sites, right? Ohrid, the Lake Ohrid in Macedonia, is the only place in the world that has both UNESCO natural site and UNESCO World Heritage Site. The little town of Ohrid is UNESCO World Heritage Site. The lake itself is a natural UNESCO site. So that is very, very beautiful and very special. This is one of the oldest settlements in Europe that has been always inhabited throughout the centuries. From there, we would move to the best kept secret of Europe. Literally, the country of Albania is a hidden gem. It is so affordable. It is so beautiful, and your clients will be thankful to you that you suggested this to them. And if they do this, they will love you for it. From there, of course, to get into Dubrovnik, we still need to go through Montenegro. And let me tell you, another hidden gem. Montenegro is home to the southernmost fjord of Europe, the fjord of Kotor, and the town of Kotor. I have heard from so many people comments that this was their favorite natural spot in the world. It is magnificent. It is grandiose. The fjord itself, the little town, the heritage there, the food, the affordability. There is so many reasons why you should suggest Montenegro to your clients. And then from Kotor to Dubrovnik, you have less than 2 hours to get into Dubrovnik, where they can stay for another overnight and then, or go directly to embark their cruise and do many different itineraries, right? From Dubrovnik, we have the route that sails all the way up to Rijeka, the longest itinerary in our offer, but also the longer one, the shorter ones, the ones that just go throughout the southern Dalmatian islands and end either in Split or Zadar. Right? So this is an amazing, amazing program. I believe that, you know, anyone would like to do this. I'm the first one who would like to do this. But let's go to the next one. There are also some options that require less time, right? So here you have the opportunity to see some of those countries that I have already mentioned in 5 to 7 days. Right? And let me tell you something, guys, the value for money that you get in these countries. We also have an LSGD program that we offer and that we call the Hidden Gems of Europe. Right? So in this case here, you fly your clients into Tirana, the capital city of Albania. And I don't want to repeat myself, but Albania is really a hidden gem of Europe. And I always say this, it's kind of funny because some of the European tour operators are starting to call Albania the new Croatia, which I think it's kind of entertaining, right? But kind of the same things, beautiful beaches, beautiful nature, but much more affordable than Croatia at this point. So from there, again, we go to Lake Ohrid in North Macedonia. I have just talked about it. It's a very special UNESCO spot. And then the capital city of Macedonia, Skopje, also very gorgeous, very beautiful city. And then Kosovo. Kosovo is the youngest country of Europe. There has been a lot of turmoil here throughout the centuries, but now is completely safe. It's beautiful and it's opening up to tourism. Prizren used to be the old capital city of Serbia, and it's full of heritage, and it's really a combination of very interesting cuisine, of very interesting architecture. Thank you, Shane, for showing that. That was just a short snippet. You can find in our website the program that we call the Hidden Gems of Europe. And then from there, we take a ferry, right? We take a ferry from Kosovo that takes them through the Lake Common. The Lake Common is between Albania and Kosovo. It's one of the most scenic places that you can imagine. It's something extremely unique and beautiful. We put the coach or the minivan. If you have a group or individuals, we can do all of these programs, guys. We can do for individuals, we can do for small groups, we can do for large groups. If you want to offer this with your charter for the whole group, we can do it. If you want to just offer it as an optional extension and price it out for individuals, we can do that as well, of course. So we pass through this beautiful lake and we are totally amazed by the beauties here, and we go into Shkodra. Shkodra is another city in Albania that is very interesting and very rich, has an ancient castle to visit, and we have the overnight there. And then we go into Montenegro. We explore the Lake Shkodra that is really located between Montenegro and Albania. And from there, we go further into Budva, Kotor, and from there, of course, we get into Dubrovnik and we get into our cruise. And you can see up here all of the routes that are available from Dubrovnik, the long one that goes all the way to Rijeka, or the two ones that go to Zadar and to Split. Whichever they choose, this is a combination. You can use this in your sales, because if you do this for, let's say, 5 nights and then 7 nights cruise, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 countries. How amazing is that? I know that many people love to see a lot of countries in one trip. So this is ideal because the countries are small and this is actually doable in a nice and comfortable pace. We can go to the next one. Thank you. I hope that you offered this because this is amazing. Okay, so another 2 sort of speak off the beaten path countries that you can easily combine with Dubrovnik. It is also doable with cruises that start from Split, but let's say that this was, I decided to feature it on Dubrovnik, right? Here are the reasons why I think this is interesting. First of all, you have a direct flight into Belgrade from New York. It is Air Serbia, right? Belgrade is the capital city of Serbia, and Serbia, it's an incredible country, okay? The value that you get there for the money, it's I don't think you can even compare it with anything else, right? The food, the authenticity of the recipes, of the dishes, the people are so welcoming. It's really something special. I used to go to Belgrade every single year because in Belgrade, actually the largest tourism fair for the region happens there every year in February. And that was my favorite place to go to eat good food and have a ton of fun. It's an amazing city. And then Novi Sad as well, beautiful and interesting city. And we do that in a day tour from Belgrade, so we don't move around too much in terms of overnights, right? So they don't have to move for the hotel. It is doable in a day. And then from there, we go into Bosnia and Herzegovina. Sarajevo. Sarajevo, it's an incredible and very unique city. They often call it the Jerusalem of Europe. It is home to different religions that manage to coexist, respect, and love each other throughout the centuries, right? And it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. And then of course, Mostar. On the way to Dubrovnik, we do this beautiful stop to visit Mostar, a city that is famous for that beautiful bridge. I'm sure you saw some pictures of that. And then of course, we end in Dubrovnik and we are ready for our cruise. And this is another program that it is doable in 5 to 7 nights, depending how much time they have. We will just, of course, have longer stays in all the places, but it's also very interesting and very amazing if you have any clients that love a little bit off the beaten path and that can spare some extra dollars for 5 to 7 nights of a land program. That would be extremely affordable, right? So that's, I think, a nice idea. Let's go to the next one, Shane. Thank you. Okay, and the last one is really simple, and this goes more or less for all the starting and ending cruise ports that I have mentioned, because it's the easiest thing to do, right? We just book them in a hotel in Dubrovnik for 3 to 4 nights. They can still see and go and visit Montenegro. I mentioned that it's only 1.5 hours away from Dubrovnik. Coming from this side, driving along the side of this beautiful natural southernmost fjord of Europe. It's a very nice experience. In the day tour, we normally include also a boat tour to a man-made island that has a very interesting story behind it. And then also it is possible to do a tour into Bosnia. It is a bit too far to go to Sarajevo, but it's very doable to do a day tour to the city of Mostar that I have mentioned before. And we also normally include a stop at the beautiful Kravice waterfall as well. Of course, from Dubrovnik, you also have countless possibilities to visit places around this area that are within Croatia, right? Like the Konavle region, which is in the countryside of Dubrovnik, with very nice cuisine, beautiful old villages, and then the city of Cavtat, as well as the Pelješac, right? Pelješac is a peninsula that is famous for winemaking. Also the town of Ston that is famous for oysters. So there is a lot of things that they could do in and around Dubrovnik, not to mention the fact that also you could stay and be just in Dubrovnik for 5 days and still have a lot to see.
Is Mostar closer and more convenient to Split or Dubrovnik?
It's kind of the same. It's doable from both. Yes. Let's put any questions that you guys have in the Q&A, and we will definitely respond in the end. Now, these are the post-cruise programs, and even those I have kind of put them into slides, we will go through them faster because it is the similar things that I've already presented for the pre, but of course the tour, the itinerary is going in the opposite direction, right? So we can go with the first slide. Thank you. So here we go. We are again in Rijeka, and this was one of my favorite itineraries, the very first that I presented. Same exact thing, but imagine they start the cruise from Dubrovnik, they end in Rijeka, right? They end in Rijeka, and then they go through Istria and Slovenia and into the northeast and northwest parts of Italy, and they can fly out of Milano. Let's go to the next one. And again, same, which we already presented, Rijeka, Rovinj, Slovenia, Postojna, and then Venice, and fly out of Venice. Let's go to the next. Same again, Plitvice Lakes, starting from Rijeka, Plitvice Lakes, going into Zagreb, the capital city of Croatia. I don't know if I've spoken enough about it, but Zagreb is a really authentic and special city. It is different from anything that they will see during the cruise. It is often called the city of museums. It has the largest per capita museums of all the cities in Europe. It has interesting and unique museums, such as the Museum of Broken Relationships, the Museum of Hangover, many funny and interesting, unique museums, as well as, of course, very serious and very valuable museums, such as the Mimara Museum, one of the most, the largest and most beautiful in Croatia. And then from there, we go into Slovenia and Ljubljana, beautiful green vacation in the Lake Bled, and then from there into Austria to visit Graz, Vienna, and fly out of Vienna. Let's go to the next. shorter version, leaving Austria out, same thing, Rijeka, Plitvice, Rijeka, Zagreb, and Ljubljana, and fly out of Ljubljana. Or from here, we can also do a transfer to fly out of Trieste or fly out of Austria or even Croatia, of course. Let's go to the next one. All right, now cruises that end in Zadar and Split. Shane, we can go through these kind of quicker. You will see here whether you end your cruise in Zadar or Split. We can do the Plitvice Lakes. I always recommend an overnight there, and then Zagreb, Ljubljana, and we go on to Austria to visit Graz and Vienna. Let's go to the next. And same thing here. We end in Slovenia and fly out of Ljubljana. Next. Croatia only, just to see this is doable in 2 days, right? This is doable with just one extra overnight if they don't have time. They end in Split or Zadar. We just do the transfer toward Zagreb. We do the visit of the Plitvice Lakes. We don't need to do the overnight. And then the overnight is in Zagreb and they fly out the next day. But it is definitely recommendable and more comfortable to do it with at least 2, potentially even more overnights. And then we get into Dubrovnik again. And just let's stay on this picture for a second. Can you go back to the picture of the bridge? This is the bridge in Mostar, okay? This is the bridge, the famous bridge in Mostar in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It was famous for people jumping, right? Professional jumpers from the top of the bridge down into the river. Now we can go to the next. Thank you. All right, so here we go again to present really quickly because you have already seen this. I just wanted to make it clear that all of these itineraries are doable, whether as a post or as a pre, just depending on which direction they're doing. So this is the one that combines Greece, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Albania, and Croatia from Dubrovnik. They would, of course, go starting from Montenegro, going into Albania and North Macedonia, ending in Greece and flying out of Athens, which is also a great hub to fly into the US. And let's go to the next ones. And these are again our 4 hidden gems of Europe. This is doable in 5 to 7 nights. And this is also adjustable, right? If they don't want to do, let's say, Kosovo, we can leave it out. If they don't want to do Macedonia, we can leave it out. This is very, like a puzzle. We can really combine different options here, as well as all the other programs, really, when you think about it. And yeah, we can go to the next, Shane. And this is again the combination with Bosnia and Herzegovina and Serbia. And let's pause here for a second because we could easily, right, the number of combinations, it's just, there is no end to it. You could easily combine here Serbia with Bosnia and Herzegovina and Kosovo and Montenegro, sort of speak, right? If someone would have enough time to do that, there are different combinations of countries that can be done for any of these destinations and any of these programs. Let's go to the next. Thank you, Shane. It's very convenient to fly with Air Serbia from Belgrade. They have good prices. And now this is a very classic post-stay, right? Post-stay in Dubrovnik. As I mentioned in the first part of the presentation, many day tours are available, but also just staying in Dubrovnik, especially if you have clients there in the summer, it will be great. They can go to the beach, they can go to the small cruises, like the day cruises, right? That they take them to the Elafiti Islands, the Game of Thrones tours. There is really many options for them right there. Let's go to the next one. Of course, you can reach out to us right now, right here and now with questions, but also, Shane, if you want to post our emails in the, maybe you already did, in the chat, I think it would be an amazing idea to try to upsell to your clients. I think not only, really, I always say it's an opportunity for additional income for you guys, but I do also believe that your clients will be thankful to you, right? It's a win-win, because if they do have the time and if they do have a little bit of extra budget, they will be thankful to you. So here we go. I don't know if we have any questions that we can answer live. Shane, would you?
Sure, yeah, starting with one here. I heard Slovenia is great for foodies and wine too. What part of Slovenia is the wine region?
All right, so Slovenia is a fairly small country, right? So there is more than one area. Now I'm maybe not the expert on this topic, but I know that all the wines that I have ever tried in Slovenia are great. There is wineries, there is the possibility to do a wine specific focused tour, also for Slovenia only, but also combining with Croatia. Absolutely very, very interesting. And the Slovenian wines are really, really good. And yes, in regards to food, Slovenia was awarded with, they have the best female chef in the world. Very, very interesting country. Yes, amazing wines, amazing cuisine.
Fantastic. I think Sally answered this one in the question section, but I figured I'll ask it aloud in case there's more to add to it. Have you heard anything from Delta if they will bring their flight to DBV back?
I'm not sure, honestly. I do know that United has confirmed that they are going ahead with it. I do hope that that Delta will come back, but I honestly don't know for sure. It hasn't been any official communication on that. I know that the Croatian National Tourism Board is in touch with Delta and that, you know, they're working on trying to reestablish that.
Perfect. And Sally, I had what Sally had written here too. United announced they will be flying to Newark starting May 27th, 4 times a week, Monday, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday. Delta so far will not resume flights from JFK nonstop for 2022.
Yeah, well, if you guys have any more questions regarding this or regarding practically anything in terms of Croatia or cruises, one more thing that I would like to tell you is that in a couple of days, really, next week, we are opening the cabin sales. Until now, our ships were only open for charters, but next week, starting Monday on the 13th, we are opening the cabin sales. So even if you have only 2 passengers for a cabin, or you have 2 or 4 or 5 cabins, whatever, I would always recommend that as soon as you start talking with them about it, you already start to prepare them and talk about and do the soft sell about the possibilities of the pre and the post, you know, to have the real picture. Let's say if we are talking about Croatia, one of the things that always works with me, with whomever I have ever talked about, is really telling them the difference between, it's like 2 different countries, right? The coastal parts and the islands, and the continental parts is completely different. So at least 2 additional overnights to see the Plitvice Lakes National Park and the capital city of Zagreb. It's really to have the rounded up experience of Croatia in general. If they have more time, you heard how many countries and destinations can be combined with this.
Yeah, Alida, if I may, first of all, Alida, thank you for an amazing presentation. It really, I feel that it opens our eyes to really amazing gems within Europe, not necessarily the traditional Europe, and this is amazing. But I would like also, if I may, I would like to add 2 points. First of all, of course, any type of product you sell with us or you book with us, it is commissionable, right? I think that we are very generous with our commission for any full FIT that includes transfers and tours and hotel stay and so on and so forth. We pay we offer 18% commission, 18% commission, including for any booking of the cabins that will be open December 13th. If you are requesting from us a group, we will offer a net rate which will allow you to add the fee that you would like to add. So I think that this is something very important, and we have raised the commission to 18%, once again, due to the COVID and understanding the importance of having the earning these days after such a time, COVID time of a year and a half. The other thing that I would like to mention is I think that hearing Alida today is an evidence to our company. This is really who we are. You will be dealing with a great team in our Europe office that have the top knowledge of every destination in Europe. The same is with the Middle East. The same will be with South America or Asia. This is the essence of our company, to really provide you with the best knowledge, because we believe that this is what you need with your client. And if we don't have the knowledge, it's okay. We still have more than 30 partners who are willing to help us to really provide the most detailed and valuable knowledge to you and, of course, your client. I think that you could see Michael's, our fearless CEO, amazing CEO with great vision in our industry. And I've mentioned it earlier, we see you as partners. And when we mean partners, we really mean it. We walk, as Michael always say, we talk the talk and we walk the walk, right? Anything you need from us, we are here for you. This is the way that we see our company. We are here for you, to serve you, and to make sure that you will be confident to work with us and definitely have your client come back and see you as heroes for them, right? So really, thank you so much all. And if we have more questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, we had one come in that says, I do have a charter, the King. Do you offer to hold a Zoom meeting with potential clients? Like an evening to get to know Croatia?
Sure, not only, I mean, this is something that we have done. Alida, you will say more about the charter itself, but just to let you know that this is something that we have done with many travel advisors. We had a great, one of the groups we have organized was exactly the same way. A partner, one of the travel advisors who has participated in our website to Central and Eastern Europe, and he gathered like 3 temples. We created from that a wonderful group to Budapest, Vienna, and Prague. And part of what we have done with him are 2 webinars with this with his clients, and it was extremely successful, extremely successful. So yes, we do that, and for any type of request, sometimes I jump in with you know, with our knowledge to the Middle East, and even if it is with a group of 7 or FIT of 4 people, we are here for you, absolutely. Lida, you can add if you want for the crew.
Yeah, so Zehava said it all, basically. Absolutely, we do this on a regular basis. And yes, with Croatia, of course, we can talk about the cruise, we can talk about the pre and the post. It's not a problem at all. It will be our pleasure to do it.
All right, that is all the current live questions. If anyone has any last minute ones here to drop in, we might be able to get to them, but that is all we have currently.
Well, I would like to thank you guys, all of you, for listening and staying until the end. And we are here for you if you have any questions, of course, through email, through phone. And yeah, just go ahead and reach out to us.
Thank you so much all. Thank you.